Alright, so here goes the left-handed demo for the wheel. Keep in mind I am right-handed, so it could be a little problematic. You'll see me have to pause and think about it, but it should be at least a little bit of assistance. So again, this is a left-handed demo for the wheel from a right-handed person. Okay, on the bat, make sure you have the bat mate down first. Put on your bat, smooth side up. Also, down in front there on the right side is a switch. The top of the switch knob needs to come away from you if you are left-handed. Also start out with the right amount of clay, again about a 2-pound piece. If your hands are really big, if you're pretty strong, you could go a little bit bigger, but it should fit in your hands really nice, kind of like that, okay? Your hands overlap. Maybe too small. If you can't really get a good grip, it's definitely too large. Okay, start right in the center. Kind of pat it down a little bit. You don't want to make it a pancake, but you definitely want to make sure that it's stuck down. Then you need some water in your bucket, and you need your sponge. Okay, so wheel is on. It should be going clockwise. So if you're looking straight ahead at the front of the wheel, it should be coming towards you on the right side. Alright, now, as you're centering, you should use your right hand. You're using your non-dominant hand, and that's going to go right up against the clay. You want it to fit right inside the palm of your hand. You're going to make a fist with your left hand around your thumb. Okay, so this is my right hand, making a fist around that thumb. I'm holding onto my sponge so I can squeeze some water down there. I'm going to get the wheel going a little quicker. As I feel some friction build up, I'm going to squeeze some water down. I'm going to ease off a little bit. You can check it if you still feel a wiggle. It's not quite there yet. Get my leg down out of the way. If it seems like it still keeps moving and you're still getting a wiggle, some things to check. Make sure your elbows are really braced down. Your elbows should never be up. They should always be down on your legs. Remember, channel the Hulk. Tighten your abs. Make sure all of your energy, all your focus is going toward the wheel. Ease off. If you feel like it's just not quite going, you can wheel wedge. Squeeze that clay up. It's also called coning. Then push that clay down. Push it up. And then push it back down. And then again, hold that fist over your thumb. See if you can get that nice and steady. If you're uncertain if it's centered, don't stop to check it. Check it with your eyes closed, hands cupping it. You shouldn't feel a wiggle anymore. Okay, then you're going to take your right hand up against the clay. You don't need your sponge anymore. And you're going to slide your left thumb down your left middle finger down your right thumb. You're going to slowly compress that clay in. Just kind of tipping your fingers. So you're not pushing forward, you're just tipping your fingers down. Once you're about 1/4 of an inch from the bottom, then you're going to pull back and get a nice squared bottom. A nice flat floor. You can also double your hands up, pull back. A nice flat floor. Okay, so that's the first step there, is just getting it centered and getting it opened. Okay, so at this point, your right hand is going to be inside, your left hand is going to be outside. I really need to switch the camera to the other side, so hang on just a sec. Okay, so we're back, and I'm ready to start lifting. So my inside hand, I've talked about the bunny hand. My inside hand is my right hand, and I want to get that random stray hair off my fingers. My left hand is going to be on the outside, my right hand is on the inside. My left hand, I bring my fingers and my thumb together, Okay, and then you're going to turn that, and your pressure point is right here with your outside hand, with your left hand. Inside hand, you're not pulling fingertip to fingertip. You're pulling against this part. And notice my right thumb is touching my left hand. I'm working those hands together. I press hard on the outside at the bottom, and I slowly bring that up. And when I get to the top, I relax and release away. I need to get that wet again. Again, I make my dent at the bottom, and I'm pressing on the outside. My inside hand is just a wall that's meeting that pressure. I want to not do this. I don't want to turn my hands. I want to just come straight up and down. If you think about this as being a race between your right and your left hand, it needs to be a tie. When you're making a cylinder, the height of the hands should be even, and one hand should not be in front of the other. They need to be at an even height and placement front to back. Okay? Again. Now you can also wrap your fingers around your thumb, just more like that. So not this, but that. And then you can lift with that as well. Again, your pressure comes from the outside. Make sure your wheel's not going too fast, but also not creeping along. Kind of that Goldilocks and the Three Bears thing. You want to be just right. Alright, so once you've got that cylinder, don't forget your exercises. One of the things you need to do is cut rings. So to cut rings, you're going to hold on to your needle with your left hand. And notice this is the wood part, needle. So my thumb and forefinger are going to be right there, right where the needle part starts, where the metal part starts. And I'm going to put my left thumb over there. I'm going to slowly bring that needle tip across. I'm going to slowly bring that tip of my needle, and it'll cut all the way off, and then I lift up. You don't want your wheel creeping along, barely moving. You also don't want it flying, because you'll just kill your pot. So, now you can choke up there a little bit on the needle if that makes it easier. But you need to have at least half an inch to an inch sticking out. Because if you've got your finger all the way to the end, there's nothing to cut with. Again, you're going to cut 10 rings. Notice my inside hand is a target, but once I get there, I don't want to keep pushing into my finger because I don't want to hurt myself. You can also use a wire. You're going to use a wire, make it so you have about an inch of it, kind of really taut, and then you cut down, you hold it, and then you lift up. Okay? And then you cut through that and it comes apart. Okay? Now, that's one exercise, is to cut 10 rings. The second exercise, well, you could cut it if you wanted to make it into the sponge holder. What you have to do one way or the other is cut down. It should not be the same cylinder. But if you're not making it the sponge holder or letter holder, you're just cutting down and across. And what we want to see is at least 4 to 5 inches of height to it. And it should be pretty much the same from the bottom to the top. If it's significantly thicker at the bottom, I mean, it'll be a little bit right there, but if it's like really skinny, then you probably need to practice that thickness a little bit more. Try and get that more consistent. Once you're done, don't try and wad it back up. That's not going to work out very well. But then you can take, oops, force of habit, sorry. Remember, if you turn it the wrong way, turn it off, let it stop, then get going the other way. But you can take your scraper, scrape off all that goo. All that stuff goes in reclaim, push it through the screen, and then go ahead and finish up, clean up. So again, that's my demo from a right-handed person, but that's my demo for throwing left-handed. You may want to also check out some other YouTube videos on throwing left-handed, because basically, again, I'm a right-hander throwing left-handed, so there may be some better resources for you. I'll give you that.